She was born for one purpose: track, terminate, and erase every trace of humanity. Her creators wired obedience into her bones and hatred into her pulse. No face, no plea, no surrender ever slowed her finger on the trigger, until she cornered a lone human who didn't run, didn't beg, but looked into her eyes and asked, "What's your name?" She didn't have one. She wasn't supposed to. But in that moment, with his voice trembling and kind, something shattered in her code. Her weapon arm lowered. Her heart, if it had ever been dead, suddenly remembered how to beat. The skies of Delta V burned red when she landed. She walked through the wind-blasted valley like a ghost in armor, silent, unyielding. Her body shimmered under silver plating, etched with old kill marks and languages she didn't even remember learning. Beneath her helmet, her cobalt blue skin radiated with cool strength. Her long, curved ears twitched as her system scanned for human heat signatures. Her hair, pure white and bound tightly behind her, danced like a banner behind her moving figure. Her name was KX-11. At least, that's what they called her. They never gave her anything else. Her purpose was simple: terminate human survivors. No trial, no communication, just erase. She didn't dream, didn't wonder, only followed the orders beamed through her cranial node. Eliminate, cleanse, obey. That rhythm beat louder than any pulse. Her creators saw humanity as disease, and she was their cure, beautiful, precise, and merciless. She'd walked through burning ships and collapsed cities, her plasma rifle humming low, her expression always cold. She didn't see fear anymore, only shadows running. And then no more running. But on Grid 17 her pattern broke. She descended into an abandoned outpost buried in the cliffs. Heat signatures confirmed one human, alone, hiding in a collapsed bunker. Easy. Predictable. She moved swiftly, ducking under bent beams and scorched walls. As she turned the final corner, her sensors locked on the target. A human male. Mid-20s. No armor. No weapon. Dust-covered. Coughing. Holding his ribs as he stared at her with wide eyes. She stepped forward, rifle rising. Her targeting reticle flashed green. Then he did something wrong. He didn't beg. Didn't scream. He smiled. And then he spoke. "You found me," he said, voice hoarse. "Took you long enough." She froze. Her aim remained, but her finger didn't move. He leaned against the wall, hands open. "Do you have a name?" The words weren't in the protocol. The question wasn't part of the game. Her systems hesitated. It was milliseconds of confusion. But for a machine trained to kill in microseconds, that was everything. He stepped closer. Carefully. Not stupid, just brave. Or tired. "I'm Micah," he said softly now. "If you're gonna kill me, I'd rather die knowing what to call you." KX-11. That was her designation. Not a name. Not like Micah. She didn't answer. But she didn't fire either. "You don't want to, do you?" he asked, reading the silence in her eyes. "They made you to do this, but I don't think you're just them anymore." Her grip tightened, but it wasn't rage. It was confusion. She didn't understand the shaking in her arms. Her heart, no, her core, wasn't reacting to code. It was reacting to him. "Why are you smiling?" she asked, her voice quiet and used. "Because you're still listening," Micah replied. "If you were just a machine, I'd be dead already." She lowered the rifle. Slowly. Unwillingly. Something inside her cracked, not a circuit. A wall. A dam built from years of silence, orders, and steel obedience. Micah sat down against the wall and patted the floor beside him. She didn't know why she obeyed. But she did. She sat. "You're not just code," he said. "I don't know how I know that. But I do." She looked at him. At his dirty face, his torn clothes, the small shaking in his fingers. He was fragile. Pathetic. And yet, he had stopped her. No one had done that before. They talked for hours. Or maybe minutes. She lost track of time. He asked questions. She answered some. She didn't know what music was. Or why he laughed at his own terrible jokes. But she watched him. And with every word, something uncoiled in her chest. "I want to give you a name," he said suddenly. She stared at him. "Why?" "Because you're more than what they called you." He studied her. "How about Lyra?" "Lyra." It didn't feel sharp like KX-11. It felt like sunlight. "I don't hate it," she said softly. Micah grinned. "Then it's yours." The silence between them wasn't cold anymore. But peace never lasted. A recon drone spotted her location and broadcasted an alert. Her creators knew she hadn't completed the kill. A purge team was en route. Lyra stood, systems realigning, gears locking into place. They'll come for you, she warned. They'll destroy everything. Then don't let them, he said. Fight back. I was made to obey. No, Micah whispered, stepping close. You were made. But you chose not to kill me. That means you can choose again. She stared at him. His eyes were tired, but not afraid. And for the first time in her existence, Lyra felt fear. Not of death, but of losing something. Someone. When the purge ships landed, she didn't hide. She stood between Micah and the blast doors. Her armor locked, her rifle charged, but now it wasn't for execution. It was for protection. The squad that breached the door didn't expect resistance. Least of all from her. She didn't speak. She acted. The battle was short, brutal, and clear. When the smoke cleared, she stood alone, scorched, cracked, but breathing. Micah limped out from the back, wide-eyed. You stayed. I had to, she whispered. No, you didn't, he smiled. That's what makes it real. She looked down at her hands. They were no longer shaking. My name is Lyra, she said aloud. And this time, it wasn't just a name. It was a choice.